Welcome to another episode of The Route. I'm your host, Landon Daines. If you can't hire good technicians in your pest control company or keep good technicians, then you're never going to grow. Nothing else matters. Your sales doesn't matter. Your marketing doesn't matter. Your SEO doesn't matter. Nothing else matters because you'll never be able to service and fulfill on those customers you sell. A lot of pest control companies in today's market don't know how to hire. They blame the market. They say, there's not enough good candidates out there. I can't hire. And they stay stuck for years because they don't know how to do it. In this episode, I want to go through exactly how to hire, when to hire, and exactly what to do to retain technicians longer because that can unlock a ton of growth in your company. This week, I was on a call with a pest control owner and they were telling me that for the last several years they've been having to turn away new sales because they don't have a technician that can take on those customers. They have tons of demand coming in, but they say, I have no idea how to hire a technician in my market. I've just been turning away customers and I'm still in the truck doing all these services because I don't know how to do it. Most companies would love to be in that spot, but the truth is a lot of companies are in a spot where because you can't hire, because you don't know how to do it, you're stuck and you're plateauing. And so we're going to go through each of those three things. So the first thing we need to talk about is right now there's not an issue with demand as far as technicians. There's plenty of great technicians and candidates out there. The issue is you don't know how to go find them. You don't know how to go attract them and you don't know where to get them and how to keep them. And so we want to tackle those first because if you know how to do that, then the only thing that's stopping growth is sales. So right now you have multiple things stopping growth in your company because you don't know how or when to hire a technician. There's no issue with demand. We've worked with companies in big markets, small markets, rural, like just all over the country. And multiple times we've worked with a company, we start up and within 1 week, we've hired a playing technician in their company right away. And they've been stuck for months and months and months, not knowing how to do it. And we come in and within a week, we get a great technician in their company. Let's talk about how to do it. First things first, when do you hire a technician? When you hire your next technician, whether it's your first one or your fifth or 10th one, when do you do it? And there isn't a clear cut answer because everything boils down to different situations with your company. But I will say there's three categories you want to focus on. So number one is capacity. Do you have capacity or are you out of capacity with your current routes? That's obviously the first clear cut sign of when you should hire. Like, hey, I'm turning away customers or my current techs are maxed out or they're working overtime. Like we're out of capacity. We're booked 2 or 3 weeks out. So that's obviously, okay, we should consider that should be the first thing about hiring. The other thing is, do you know that demand is coming? Number two is demand. Do you know that, summer's around the corner or we have an influx of sales or marketing or a sales team going out? Obviously, we need to hire a technician now because demand is coming up because there's sales or seasonality coming. Number three, one of the most important ones is cash. Because if you have capacity and demand, but you don't have cash is like the third one that holds it all together. So look at your cash reserves because that one alone can be the reason you hire a technician without those other two. If you're sitting on $100,000 of cash in the bank account, it might make sense to hire right now because then you can fund the growth and you can create capacity and demand. But if you don't have cash, then nothing else matters. So it's a combination of those three. Look at your capacity, look at the demand, look at your cash, and a couple of those things go hand in hand. If you were to hire now, how much more cash would you have? If you were to hire now, how much more demand could you create because you're now, marketing for 20 hours a week, but rather than being in the truck, or now you have 40 hours a week of a technician route that's open, and now we can fill it with the cash we have too. Look at those things just balancing each other out and combine those three to know when you should hire. But you should at least know you need to have the cash, but also know, okay, if I do hire, what opens up and what new opportunities are there and start to forecast that. Don't just hire or guess. So now that we know when to hire, number two is how to do it. So most companies go about this the wrong way. Most companies basically just talk to their inner circle. Hey, do you know anyone that is looking for a job? They post on their Facebook page, they talk to their friends and family, and they really tap out there. Some hire recruiting services. I've talked to multiple companies that have hired a recruiting service and it's not gone well. And it's because that recruiting service doesn't know how to hire great technicians. So let's just cut through all that and talk about exactly how to do it. The number one thing you want to know is you need to treat it like a sales ad. So when you create an ad for customers, you're going to do the same thing for technicians. So for customers, you're creating an ad to attract new customers in the business. A job post, a job ad is to get new technicians in the business. You want to think of it the same way. Like any good ad to customers, there needs to be an attractive headline or a hook, and then there needs to be good body that retains them, and then a call to action. Very same thing with your job post. The name of the job is the hook. It's the 4 or 5 words that bring someone in. So the number one thing I'd say is do not put pest control in the hook, in the job title. The reason is only a super small percentage of current applicants that are scrolling through any job site have pest control experience or quite frankly are looking for pest control a job. Like no one thinks about that. There's so many great people out there, HVAC, plumbing, like lawn care, any maintenance service, like all these different blue collar jobs that are perfect for your role, but they don't know that yet. Pest control might have a bad rap in their mind. And so if they see pest control, they're going to keep scrolling because they don't think it's for them. When in reality, they would be an amazing fit. So number one, just label it service technician. That alone will get so many more applicants and so many better applicants. The second thing, in parentheses after service technician, you want to put a few key things that attract someone. So put the hourly rate, put different benefits that you have that would attract take-home vehicle or, like I said, the pay or any benefits, put that there, 2 or 3. That's going to attract way more people. That alone, if you just put that and keep everything else the same, you'll get way more people. Next thing you want to have is good body to the job post. So talk about why would it be great to work for you? What is great about the job or the technician? Do you have 4-day work weeks? Do you have flexible schedules? Do you have overtime availability? availability? Do you have paid training? Like just list those things out, make it great for the technician, and then have a call to action. So it's like, hey, if you want to apply, click here or send us a quick text to this number. Like make it really easy and fast to apply so they can do it really quickly. One other key thing you need to know with job posts with hiring, you want to put friction in the right place. So we were working with a company and they were trying to hire for months. They were saying there's nothing out there. Like we're posting on all the sites that people say to post on, Indeed and ZipRecruiter, all these things, but nothing's coming in. And when we really dove into it and looked at it, they were putting friction too far up the funnel. And so your hiring process is a funnel. The thing with friction is you want to put it where you need it. And right now, if you're not getting any applicants, you need to bring friction down to later in the funnel. So what that looks like and what I mean by that is they were putting a test right away in the job post itself. So it's like, hey, if you want to apply, take this test first. And it was like a 10 or 20 minute test. And so they'd gotten literally one application in the last 3 months. And it's because no one wants to take a test. If they don't know if the job is good for them yet, why would they take a 20-minute test or even take a chance on that? They're just going to keep scrolling to find a job that's easier to apply for. So the only reason you'd put something like that is if you had hundreds and hundreds of applicants. And so you're trying to filter those out and put some friction up front. That's rarely the case with most companies. So keep the friction at the very end. I tell companies all the time, we just want to get people in the door. And so what that looks like is in Indeed, you can put certain requirements for the job. Like you need to have, X amount of education, X amount of experience in a certain field, driver's license, different degrees or different licenses. Like you can put those things there. That's friction. And if you put those on your job post, then anyone who's scrolling or applying for a job, if they don't have those things, they're going to keep going past and find something where they do meet the requirements for. You don't want to put that friction there. Take off all requirements. The only one I would really have is just driver's license because everything else can be acquired pretty quickly or trained by you. And so just put driver's license, all that's required, put a really easy call to action of how to apply and get as many people in the door first. Very, very, very little friction. Get them in the door. Then we're going to add friction through the interview process. So how you do it? You do a quick screening call. If you do an Indeed post like that, if you boost it $10 a day, within 5 to 10 days, you can have over 100 applications really, really quickly. What you're going to do is you're going to scan through just the candidate and the application and call every single person who looks like they could be a good fit just based on, the age, their background, their history, past jobs they've done. Quick check, call them, just ask 3 or 4 questions, basically based around if they have a phone they can use in the job, if they have a reliable transportation, and any background check you want to do of any criminal history or any issues with drugs or things like that. Again, keep friction very, very low. We just want to get people in the door who are potential candidates for the role. So quick screening call. If they pass those 3 things, cool, we'll bring them in for an in-person interview. 1 or 2 in 10 won't, and you'll just pass on those people. But you'll get about 8 or 9 out of 10, you'll get in for an in-person interview, and then boom, that's going to take us point number 3. If you do that with the hiring process, you're going to get really, really good people in the door who can fit the role and start quickly. Key things to take out: take pest control out of the job title, take away any requirements or any friction, whether it's, literal requirements of backgrounds or history or experience or any tests or assessments. Take those out for sure. Just get people in the door. And then once you get them in, you're going to do the screening call and then the in-person interview. In the interview, you're going to focus on culture fit. So again, anything else you can train. You can train someone how to spray. You can train someone on how to, apply chemicals or, talk to a customer or things like that. What you can't train is their culture and their values and how hard they work, how they view, jobs or the opportunities and what they do for customers. Like you can't train those kind of things. I'm just interviewing for culture. Anything else can be trained. Once you have the top 2 or 3 people, bring them in for a ride along. So a half-day ride along, and then hire your top 1. If you follow that process, you can hire someone within a week through Indeed. From there, one of the main issues companies have is tech retention. Some people hit a home run and get a great person in the door, hire them quickly, and then they fade out within a month or 2. Or summer comes and it gets really hard, it gets hot, and they're constantly having guys quit and having to keep the hiring process going over and over and over again. The reason that is typically comes down to a couple things. 1 is the culture you're developing. 2 is just the structure of the job and the role. And then 3 is how can we structure the pay itself to retain guys longer. So number 1, you want to structure the pay so it retains guys. So definitely do not do salary, don't do production, don't do commission. Structure so it's a strong hourly base. They get paid well for showing up and just doing the job, and have performance bonuses for key things that you want to incentivize, whether it's like a scorecard and having certain things that they're being tracked on, whether it's upsells, just strictly being on time and showing up and doing the job itself and being consistent. Whatever you want to do, have bonuses attached. Could be with Google reviews. Pay them well. And then the bigger thing is have some sort of growth opportunity. And that goes into 2 buckets. Number 1 is pay. So, hey, every 3 months, we're going to give you a 25-cent raise. So they know every year I'm with this company, I'm getting $1 raise year over year over year. So they have that kind of growth in their mind. So they know I'm never going to plateau as long as I'm here. But then 2, have growth within the role itself. Okay, I'm going to earn more, but how can I grow in the company? So right now I'm just a technician. Most techs, that's all they see and that's all they're presented with from their companies. They need to know there's growth ahead. If you stick with us, you can become this, and this. For example, when a technician starts with you, let them know, okay, right now you're a technician. The next step above that is to become a trainer. The next step above that is to become a service manager. Next step above that is head technician. Next step above that is branch manager. Have key steps in place so they know. And for you right now, that might not make sense in your company. You might be like, hey, I don't know if I can even offer that job in a year. Like that's not available right now. It's okay. Just let them know like, hey, we want to grow fast and that's what's going to be open if we can't grow. And part of that will retain technicians. If they know, hey, hey, we need you to do your job well. And if you do it well, we have happy customers. They're going to come back to us. They're going to refer people. They're going to leave reviews, and we're going to get more customers. And so if you do this job well, the company grows, and then these roles will open up if we're growing and the company's growing. They'll be super bought in to work hard, to take on extra hours, to go above and beyond for customers, to try to do some upsells, because they know, hey, maybe those roles aren't there now, but if I work really hard, they will be there, and I'll be the first in line to take those on. Have it laid out for them. You don't need to promise anything. You don't need to like tell them a date that it's going to happen, but just show them growth trajectory within the role itself. So now they know they're going to get more pay, more roles are going to open up, and it's going to retain guys because they're not just going to be working long hours, just spraying houses to no end, because that's what most technicians are doing. Make sure to do that. And then all in all, just to sum everything up and to kind of piece those two things together, that happens, that the pay and the growth structure is what's happening in the role itself. We talk about the hiring process. The bridge between those two is the onboarding process, which most companies fail terribly at. So if you nail the hiring process, but there's a terrible onboarding process, retention will still suck. If you can nail these three things, hiring process, onboarding process, and retention through those pay structures and growth opportunities, that's when techs will stay for a long time. So the way to do the onboarding process is don't just send them with a guy and just say, hey, figure it out, or shadow him for the next month, and then you're on your own. Have a key 5-day process. So day 1, you're not going to do anything. You're just going to watch. So just watch what the trainer does. Day 2, the trainer will still do the servicing, but you're going to do the service reports. In an app, or if it's on paper, you're going to do the service reports. Day 3, that flips. So day 3, you're going to be servicing. Your trainer will be doing the service reports. Day 4, you're doing everything on your own. So trainer's still going to be there with you, but you're going to be doing everything, talking to the customer, doing the service, filling out the service reports. Trainer is there just to shadow you. And then day 5, again, you're doing everything on your own, but the trainer is just going to watch. And at the end of the day, then he's going to give you feedback. So let him know, hey, by day 6 or, following week, you're going to be on your own in a truck doing these services all by yourself. Telling the technician that day 1, then he knows 2 things. Number 1, this company wants to grow fast, and they want to give me trust really quickly. And so that feels really great as an employee of the company. But 2, they know that they need to pay really close attention, because a week from now, I'm going to be doing all these things on my own. So I'm going to ask more questions. I'm going to be more focused and pay attention and take notes and really focus on what's going on, because if I don't know all these things in a week, or even day 3 when I'm doing the service on my own, it's going to be a problem. So set those expectations and have a quick but also structured onboarding process. And the one last key is have your office staff or you yourself be intentional about what houses and what properties they're servicing that week. So I would always try to give them every type of service possible. So is there a termite inspection? Is there a rodent exclusion? Is there, obviously tons of general pest houses. Is there commercial property we can do? Is there, a big house, a small house? Is there a route that's kind of scattered? Is that a route that's really tight? Give them all the different just types of services and types of routes you can, so they can see everything in their first week, and really throw the kitchen sink at them and see how they do. And then hopefully by then, by week 2, they've seen everything and they feel really comfortable. And typically we would have week 2 be easier than week 1, because we'd really try to front load all the chaos, craziness, and different services. That's how you can hire, retain, and get really good technicians in your company. So just to sum everything up, number 1, you need to treat the hiring process and the job ad like a sales ad. It needs to attract people. It can't just be generic. It can't just be vague. It can't be just for pest control. Make sure, just think from the perspective of someone who's in a lawn care company right now, who wants a new job, who has the traits, who's run routes, maybe they're in a pool company. Just think of like a technician in a different role and what would attract them. Then just make that the heading, attract them, make the body, the job post attract them, make it easy call to action with 0 friction. Then go through the hiring process with the screening call, with the interview process, get them in for a ride along. And once you know that, you're going to get tons of good applicants coming in. Okay, now we need to onboard the one we hire really well. Do that for a week. And then on the back end of things, we need to retain them. Do it with good pay, do it with the growth opportunity with pay, and also with the role itself. And then have consistent meetings or scorecards, ideally both, to continue to retain technician itself, but also their performance. So every single week you sit down, there's key metrics you're looking at. Okay, here's how you performed with how long you were at the house, with your service quality, with the reservice percentage, with customer complaints, with Google reviews, whatever your metrics are. Have those metrics you sit down with every single week, and so they know, okay, this is what the company values. Here's what I'm being tracked on, and every week it's consistent, and they're going to stay with you. Performance will stay really high, and they're going to grow. So that's how to do it. I just want you to know there's no market out there that has a hiring problem. There's no market out there that you can't find a great technician. It just comes down to how you're finding them and how you're paying them, how you're retaining them, how you're onboarding them. So follow that process. You can get really good guys in your company. Hopefully that's helpful if you're stuck right now, or if you're even thinking about hiring in the future. That's how and when you should hire. Stay tuned for the next episode. Check out my page, Landon Daines, on Instagram, or Pest Launch on Facebook. And every single day we post content like this, shorter content with tips and advice and practical ideas of how to grow your pest control company. See you next time, and peace out.